Hey, everybody, and welcome. It is the games of the month. Happy New Year. We are into January. I'm Joel. That's Jeremy. And hope Santa Claus brought you everything you wanted, Jeremy. I know you were looking for a new baseball glove, new baseball hat or something, weren't you?
I got Santa red on yet. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not ending the Christmas season quite yet. It goes by way too fast, and you know that with kids too. That it seems like the season is the build up, and all of a sudden it's just gone. But we keep going, and now these next few months, Joel, are really fun when you're talking high school sports.
They certainly are, and here in January, here this month, we're gonna feature three really good rivalries here from schools in our area. And we'll start off and all of these are early in the month here too. So you're gonna get your games out of games of the month early here. January 6th, girls hockey, Hutchinson and Litchfield, Dassel, Cokato. Now I know you're not the biggest puck person in the world, but these were two one-goal games last year. LDC won in the regular season. Hutch won in overtime in the playoffs to knock them out. But I know you appreciate a good rivalry, and that's maybe the best girls hockey rivalry that I know of in this central part of Minnesota.
And I think that's kind of the theme that people are going to be hearing us talking about in January. It's about rivalries, right? And you've got a lot of these a lot of these kids that had probably skated together in the past, whether it's on different area teams. So I'm kind of learning that with a high schooler this year, that you start competing against some really good friends, and that part of it's fun. It's fun for parents, but this whole thing that when you get two programs like this that both have aspirations going into the postseason. I'm sure LDC hasn't forgotten how last year ended for them. So it's an opportunity to kind of get some of that bad taste out of their mouths and move on. And, it's one of those things, Joel. Winter is the longest sports season, but it always seems once we creep by Christmas, things really start to pick up. And, believe it or not, as you and I sit here at the beginning of January, 6 weeks from now, we're going to be talking about postseason stuff. So
Yeah.
even though it's a long season, you and I both know it goes fast. And this is really a fun one to start off some of our coverage this coming month.
Well, speaking of postseasons, that leads nicely into our next one. Mayor Lutheran taking on Lester Prairie in boys and girls basketball. That's coming up January 8th on KGLB. And not just basketball, but seeming that both schools are in Class A in a lot of different sports. I mean, Mayor Lutheran versus Lester Prairie has become a really nice Class A rivalry that, they're only, 20 miles I should say about 20 minutes apart as far as schools go?
Yeah, it's a really good rivalry, right? And it's one now with having a student at Mayor Lutheran that you realize, Mayor Lutheran doesn't like Lester Prairie. Lester Prairie doesn't like Mayor Lutheran, and I mean that in a good way. That's what it is. It's created a good rivalry, whether it's on the gridiron, whether it's on the baseball field in the spring. But these two teams have hooked up for some really fun and intense matches on the basketball court in the last few years. There's no Addie Hoof there anymore for Lester Prairie, and you've got a Mayor Lutheran girls team that has state tournament and state championship aspirations. On the boys' side, you've got a Lester Prairie boys team that's maybe gotten the better of this rivalry in general over the last 5 or 6 years, but maybe not this year. Mayor Lutheran's got a really fun and exciting young team. They don't have one senior that's playing in their rotation. Trying to build on that. They're coming off a nice win in December over Jordan. And then you've got a Lester Prairie team that's got a little bit of size. And it seems like that's one of the things that Lester Prairie oftentimes brings with them is a little bit of size. A young team, too. They're playing two freshmen in their starting lineup. So, this could be, on the boys' side, something that you're going to see for years to come with both teams playing a lot of young players. This might be the start of even a newer Mayor Lutheran and Lester Prairie rivalry on the boys' side. On the girls' side, Lester Prairie is going to have a tough time trying to find a way against a very good Mayor Lutheran team, but you kind of throw the records out when you have rivalries like this.
And speaking of throwing the records out, you can do that with the Highway 212 rivalry, Central versus Glencoe Silver Lake boys and girls basketball on January 9th. And these two, when you look at Class AA basketball in the last few years here, I'll say last 5, 10-ish years, something around there, These are two really good Class 2A programs that have a lot of wins between them.
I'll start on the boys' side, Joel. You're not going to see two teams that are much different than these two. Both very, very good basketball teams, but we're talking about a central team that's got tremendous size. I mean, we're talking about young, grown men. And then a GSL team that doesn't equal them in size, but they love to play fast. I mean, Joel, they scored 99 against Hutchinson in December. They scored 99. I forget who else it was against. I mean, they're pushing 100 points. They're averaging over 80 points per game, and they've got some dynamic scores. That one's going to be fun. On the girls' side, there may be a little bit flipped this year. I think GSL has had the upper hand the last few years. I mean, heck, this is the first time in 14 years, Joel, there isn't a Monahan in the lineup. There's one on the bench for the GSL Panthers, but there isn't one in the lineup. And you've got a central team that really returned the bulk of their core last year. So maybe a little bit of a role reversal there from what we've seen. But yeah, you mentioned it. I mean, GSL and Norwood Young America, it was always a once a year rivalry, right? Hey, they're Wright County foes now. They get to do this a couple times. So that's a great one and should be a fun one. Probably going to be a pretty cold evening, too, for that one, but it will be hot in the gymnasium. I promise you that.
Don't forget, you can find these games and many more. You can check out our broadcast schedule on our websites, kduz.com, carpradio.com, and kglb1310.com. He's Jeremy. I'm Joel. We'll see you next month for Games of the Month.